Good morning, students. Yesterday we have discussed the Fourier representation for four classes of the signal. As the Fourier series applied to the continuous time periodic signals, and the discrete time Fourier series applies to the discrete time periodic signals. So the non-periodic signals have Fourier transform representation. The Fourier transform applies to the signal that is continuous in time, and the discrete time Fourier transform applies to the signal that is discrete in time and non-periodic signal. So Fourier series is always applied to the continuous time periodic signals, and Fourier transform is always applied to the continuous as well as discrete time signals for the non-periodic signals. Okay, so that may be the continuous in time or the discrete in time, but that is a non-periodic signal. Okay, we'll discuss the relationship between the time properties of the signal and the appropriate Fourier representation. So for this, we'll consider there is a time property and there is a periodic and another is the non-periodic. Okay, so under this time property, if the signal is continuous, okay, then if it is a periodic signals, then we have to apply the Fourier series. Fourier series we have to apply FS. And for the non-periodic signals, Fourier transform we have to apply. Okay. And this is for the continuous signals. And if the signal is discrete, then for the periodic signal, discrete time Fourier series we have to use. Discrete time Fourier series. And for the non-periodic, we have to use the discrete time Fourier transform. We have to keep this in mind while applying the Fourier series or Fourier transform for the periodic or non-periodic signals. So let us consider if suppose x of n is a discrete time signal with fundamental period capital N. Okay, then we seek to represent x of n in discrete time Fourier series. Okay, then a representation of x of n by discrete time Fourier series is like x cap of n is equal to summation k a of k into e raised to power j into k omega naught n. So this is equation number 1. So this is a representation of x of n by the discrete time Fourier series. So this omega naught in this equation is the fundamental frequency, where this omega naught, so we have considered here symbol for the omega naught is this is omega naught is equal to 2 pi over n is the fundamental frequency of x of n. Okay, and the frequency of the kth sinusoid, the frequency of kth sinusoid in the superposition is k omega naught. Okay, so each of these sinusoids has a common period n. Okay, so every sinusoid has a common period capital N. Similarly, if x of t is a continuous time signal of the fundamental period t, if there is a continuous time signal if x of t is a continuous time signal and here of fundamental period capital T. Okay, in case of the discrete time, the fundamental period is capital N, but in case of the continuous time signal, the fundamental period is capital T. And therefore, we have to represent this x of t by the Fourier series. So, by representing x of t by Fourier series. Okay, if you represent this x of t by the Fourier series, then we can write the equation that is a x of t cap is equal to summation over k into e of k into e raised to power j k omega naught t. This is equation number 2. Okay, so in this case, where omega naught is equal to 2 pi by t, where omega naught is equal to 2 pi over t, and this is the fundamental frequency of x of t. This is fundamental frequency of x of t. Okay, here the frequency of the kth sinusoid is k omega naught. here the frequency of kth sinusoid is k omega naught. Okay, and each sinusoid has a common period t, and each sinusoid has a common period capital T. Okay, so therefore a sinusoid whose frequency is an integer multiple of the fundamental frequency is called harmonics. Okay, a sinusoid whose frequency is an integer multiple of the fundamental frequency is called harmonics of the sinusoid is called a harmonic of the sinusoid at the fundamental frequency. Okay, so therefore the factor e raised to power j k omega naught t is the kth harmonic of e raised to power j omega naught t. Okay, therefore e raised to power j k omega naught t is the kth harmonic of e raised to power j omega naught t. So in both the equations 1 and 2, in both equations, equation 1 and 2, okay, we have seen that is ak is the weight applied to the kth harmonic. Okay, and hence hat signal or sign denotes the approximate values. Hat, which is denoted by like this, hat denotes approximate value. Okay, so the hat is generally used to denote the approximate values. Since we do not yet assume that either x of n or x of t can be represented exactly by the series of the form shown. So you are not sure whether x of n or x of t can be represented either by exactly by a series of form shown. Therefore, the variable k indexes the frequency of the sinusoid. So we say that a of k is a function of frequency. Okay, so this a of k is a function of frequency. Okay, so how many terms or weights should we use in its sums? The answer to this question becomes apparent for the discrete time Fourier series, which is described by the equation 1. Okay, so we'll now recall that the complex sinusoid with a distinct frequencies are not always distinct. So in particular, the complex sinusoid which is given by this, that is e raised to power k omega naught n, are n periodic in the frequency index k. We'll discuss this. In a particular complex sinusoids, e raised to power j k omega naught n are n periodic in the frequency index k as shown by the relationship okay. Therefore e raised to power j n plus k omega naught n is equal to, separate these terms, e raised to power j n omega naught n into e raised to power j k omega naught n. Okay, so we can write like this: e raised to power j 2 pi n into e raised to power j k omega naught n, and this is equal to e raised to power j k omega naught n. Okay, here there are only n distinct complex sinusoids. Okay, so n, capital N, is the distinct complex sinusoid of the form e raised to power j omega naught n, and a unique set of the n distinct complex sinusoid is obtained by letting the frequency index k vary from k is equal to 0 to k is equal to n minus 1. Okay, so we can write here the, there are only capital N distinct complex sinusoids of the form e raised to power j k omega naught n. Okay, and therefore the unique set of n distinct complex sinusoids is vary from is vary from by letting k is equal to 0 to k is equal to n minus 1. Therefore, accordingly, we have to rewrite the equation number 1 by putting this value of the k, and therefore rewrite equation number 1. Rewrite equation 1: x cap of n summation k equal to 0 to n minus 1 just by putting this limit, and a of k into e raised to power j k omega naught n. This is equation number 3. Okay, so the set of n consecutive values over which k varies is we can say arbitrary and may be chosen to simplify the problem by exploiting the symmetries in the signal. If there is a symmetries are there in the signal, then we can simplify the problem just by exploiting the symmetries in the signal x of n. For example, if suppose x of n is an even or odd signal, if maybe the simplifier to use these values, that is k is equal to minus n of n minus 1 by 2 to n minus 1 by 2 if n is odd. Okay, so for example, we can say here if x of n is an even or odd signal, okay, it may be simpler to use k, which is equal to minus n of n minus 1 by 2 to n minus 1 by 2 if n is odd. If n is odd. Okay, in contrast to the discrete time case, the continuous time complex sinusoids e raised to power j k omega naught k with a distinct frequency k omega naught are always distinct. Hence, there are potentially an infinite number of distinct terms in the series of equation number 2, and therefore we can express x of t by writing this equation x of cap of x of t is equal to summation k equal to minus infinity to infinity a of k into e raised to power j k omega naught t, and this is equation number 4. So we have rewritten this equation by considering that there are an infinite number of distinct terms are available in the series, and therefore whenever it is a continuous time signal, therefore we have taken the summation over k equal to minus infinity to infinity. This is given by the equation number 4. Therefore the weights are coefficient ak such that cap of n and cap of t are good approximation to x of n and x of t respectively. Okay, so we have considered the weights, or we say the coefficient. Weights are coefficient a of k. These are the weights are coefficient a of k such that cap of n and cap of x of t are good approximations. Are good approximations. Okay, to x of n and x of t. So these cap values we can consider these as a good approximation to the given signals in discrete and time signals. Okay, x of n and x of t. Therefore, this is accomplished by minimizing the mean square error between the signal and its series representation. This is accomplished by minimizing the mean square error, that is MSE, mean square error, which is generally denoted by MSE, between the signal and its series representation. Okay, so it is better to consider these approximate values of, that is values defined by the cap. Okay, and these are the good approximation to the x of n and x of t. Okay, so since the series representation have the same period as the signals, therefore the mean square error is the average square difference over any one period, and therefore the average power in the error. Therefore, in discrete time, we can write this. We can write here, since the series representation have the same period as the signals. Whatever the signal is having the period, the series also have the same period. Okay, and therefore the MSC, that is a mean square error, is the average square difference over one period, over one period, or the average power in the error, or the average power in the error. Okay, therefore in case of the discrete time case, we can write, in the discrete time case, we have mean squared error is equal to 1 over n summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x, the modulus of x of n minus x cap of n square. This is equation number 5. Similarly, in the continuous time case, similarly in the continuous time case, we can write the mean square error is equal to 1 over t, because time period in the continuous case is t. Therefore, limit is 0 to t, and this is x of t minus x cap of t square dt, and this is equation number 6. So therefore, these discrete time Fourier series and Fourier series coefficient minimize the mean square error. Therefore, the determination of these coefficients is simplified by the properties of harmonically related complex sinusoids. So we can write here the discrete time Fourier series and Fourier series coefficients minimize the mean square error. Okay, so this is how we can minimize the mean square errors by using the discrete time Fourier series and Fourier series coefficients. So next is the non-periodic signals transform representation. Non-periodic signals Fourier transform. For representation of non-periodic signals, we use the Fourier transform. Therefore, Fourier transform representation. Okay. In contrast to the case of periodic signal, just we have seen the periodic signal. For representation of the periodic signal, we use the Fourier series or Fourier discrete time Fourier series. But in case that is for the periodic signal, but whenever the signals are non-periodic signals, we use the Fourier transform for representing the signal. So in contrast to the case of periodic signal, there are no restrictions on the period of the sinusoids used to represent the non-periodic signals. As in case of the periodic signal, there was the restrictions. But in case of this non-periodic signal, there are no restrictions on the period of the sinusoids used to represent the non-periodic signals. Here, the four transform representations employ complex sinusoids having the continuum of frequencies. The signal is represented as a weighted integral of the complex sinusoids, where the variable of integration is the sinusoid's frequency. Okay, so the discrete time sinusoids are used to represent discrete time signals in the discrete time Fourier transform, while the continuous time sinusoids are used to represent continuous time signal in the Fourier transform. Okay, so we'll write once again. Discrete time sinusoids, discrete time sinusoids are used to represent the discrete time signal discrete time signals in the discrete time Fourier transform, while continuous time sinusoids are used to represent continuous time signal in the Fourier transform. Okay. Therefore, these continuous time sinusoids with the distinct frequencies are distinct. So the Fourier transform involves the frequency from minus infinity to minus infinity to the plus infinity. So this Fourier transform involves frequencies from minus infinity to plus infinity, and we can use this in the equation, and therefore x cap of t is equal to 1 over 2 pi for one period. Okay, 1 over 2 pi, and limit is from minus infinity to infinity, x of j omega into e raised to power j omega p into d omega. So here x of j omega over 2 pi represent the weight or coefficient applied to a sinusoid of frequency omega in the Fourier transform representation. Okay, so here we can write here x of j omega by 2 pi represents the weight or coefficient, weight or coefficient applied to a sinusoid of frequency omega in the Fourier transform representation. In the Fourier transform representation. Okay, so discrete time sinusoids are unique only over a 2 pi interval of frequency. Okay. So discrete time sinusoids are there, and we can say it is unique only over a 2 pi interval of frequency. Since the discrete time sinusoids with frequency separated by an integer multiple of 2 pi are identical. Okay, so consequently we can also represent the discrete time Fourier transform involves sinusoidal frequencies within a 2 pi interval. Therefore, we can write here x of so consequently the discrete time Fourier series involves sinusoidal frequencies within a interval of 2 pi, and therefore x of n, cap of x of n is equal to interval is 2 pi, therefore time period is 1 over 2 pi. So minus pi to pi x of e raised to power j omega into e raised to power j omega n d omega. So thus the weighing applied to the sinusoids, the weighing applied to the sinusoids e raised to power j omega n in the discrete time Fourier transform representation is e raised to power j omega by 2 pi. Okay, I think this much is sufficient today. Rest representation of Fourier series we will discuss in the next lecture.